It's hard to understand the way that you went out. I bet you're living with a little hint of doubt. Maybe next time when you gotta show your hand, you won't cut and run, you'll finally make a stand. 'Cause I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. We're not through. Yeah, I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. Existential questions always get you down. All you want to know is are we lost or found? Is there something that you feel you need to chase? I bet you thought you'd put me in my place. 'Cause I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. We're not through. I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. Yeah, I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. We're not through. Yeah, I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. You can run, you can hide, but inside, I'm finally getting to you. Yes, it's true. I still love you, but I am getting to you.
Stand by to initiate release sequencer. On my mark.
We're on express elevator to hell. Going down.
2, 1. Mark.
Welcome back to the Resupply with me, Guy Next Door.
And me, Than.
I'm bringing you your DK-less double tap of all things Space Marines and Laser Force. Hello,
Did you
everyone.
Just say our, did you just say our dickless double tap of all things Laser Force?
Sort of, yes. No tech issues, bro. It's real early. At some point, this camera here is gonna die, and I'm gonna switch back. It's so nice to see everyone in chat. Hello to everyone in chat. Oh, Ducky, 13 goddamn months, bro.
Jesus.
Bro, thank you so much. That's moo. That's
Oh, god damn it, Ducky. God damn it.
I'm
God
assuming
damn
that's
it.
something that's carried across from your channel.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I may or may not explain it later. We'll see. We'll see how mad I am.
It's so nice that like we've been going obviously over a year now. 13 months. 13 months, I think. And
I say we
'cause
take
Ducky
off
was
and
a
nuke
day
the
one
entire
sub.
site.
there's
from
a bunch
orbit.
of you
Pretty
that have been following for almost the whole time, which we really appreciate. Oh boy, you guys are active
I say
this
we
morning.
take
Cheers.
off and nuke the entire site from orbit.
It's gonna be one of those shows, bro. I can just tell.
Oh, dude.
It's gonna be one of those fucking shows.
What's really dumb is that for some reason the shortcut isn't working for the nuke, and so I gotta click it like
I say we take off and
I
nuke the entire site
click it
from
again.
orbit.
You guys are gonna break my index finger. Give it a good workout.
What the hell?
So nice to see everyone here. Hope everyone's having a great morning or evening, whatever you're up to. I suppose the only person who I lament being here is probably Russell, because I have no time for bullies. Yeah, right at you, bro. Right at you. You know what you did. Hey, Than. What the? Bees? Oh, the bees ain't gonna work. Sorry, bro. I'll refund you later. Bees ain't gonna... You get a nice sun effect, actually. Okay, so before we get into how you are...
Yeah, let's cover the bees here, because that seems way more important.
So I've got a new camera. The camera's nice. It basically can zoom in all the way into my pores, which is not that good of a thing.
That seems fucking terrible, bro.
Ivan, it's 3 a.m. there, bro. That's brutal, my dude. Why are you awake? Go to bed. No bees, sorry. In fact, normally I turn the bees off for the Resupply podcast. We keep the bees out of here, because it's too loud and intrusive for the podcast. That's right. Woo. So I got a new camera this week. What I did not know is that DSLRs, they don't charge, or at least this one doesn't charge off USB. So at some point this camera's going to die, and we'll switch back to my old one, which is still a nice camera, just not quite as like in depth as this one. But yeah, if you stick around, there'll be tech issues when that happens. I have a dummy battery coming, which will help that problem, hopefully. But we'll see. Hopefully. We will see though. it made the Lego stream on Wednesday real cool, because I got to like zoom right in. Oh, Hoodlum
Hoodie
extended their tier 1 sub through September. Bro, thank you so much.
Nice one, bro.
OG camera, Lego camera, this one dies. That camera sucks. But yeah, so I'm trying to make improvements. Trying to improve the quality around here. I would say that it's marginal.
I mean, if you can't improve the quality of the content, just improve the quality of the equipment used to broadcast the content, and nobody will be able to tell the difference.
Well, in fact, like, doesn't better quality mean worse quality content? Oh, flash of inspiration. Look at the red go. This camera picks up the colors way better than the other ones do. Yeah,
it does.
Real nice. Got to get back. Going to have a great stream. Thanks, Dolly, for stopping in. It's very nice to see you. I hope your stream's going well. Oh, Ducky, you broke my lights. You straight up broke my lights. Why did that happen?
Although Russ does say that looks like there's a little bit of lag in the camera. Your audio's a little desynced.
Yes, like it's like real slight, right? It's like a very, very slight one. Than too.
Oh, actually, so maybe it is you, Russ. Maybe the problem is yours. Maybe you are the fucking problem, bro.
He's always the problem. You know what? I'm gonna click this button just because A, I get to see the cool fancy lights, but B, it might reset them. We'll find out in a minute though.
Russ, the problem was me all along.
There we go. They're back.
His real name is Agatha Harkness.
What the fuck?
Oh, that's a WandaVision reference. That if you haven't watched WandaVision, that's your own goddamn problem at this point.
It's very obscure, but now that you've put it in context, I understand that reference. Usually you get all the lag onto too. Hopefully, look, I notice here it's like a very, very, very minor thing, but hopefully with a little tweaking I can fix that. Your sub is gone. You just realized? Damn it! That's all right, Ivan. You don't have to spend any money here if you don't want to. You can get this shit for free.
It's cool. We don't mind.
It's cool. Right. So that's the first thing. Hopefully this camera is the start of some more creative endeavors to come. I was inspired by Luke out of Loveland's site, because I think he uses a DSLR to shoot his footage. And I was like, oh my god, that looks so damn good. I want to do the same. So that's part of the reason I bought it. Also, if we're going to PAX later on in the year, if we're allowed to travel, we're going to shoot a bunch of stuff over there as well. It's
a big if, bro.
It's a massive if, dude. We'll see on that front. Gratz, you went out of your bed and hydrate as well.
We have such power.
Yes.
There's such power in this show, apparently.
So it's funny because I was at a friend's birthday dinner last night, and I was like, "Yeah, we got a fan base in the Czech Republic," and they're like, "Oh, that's so fancy." I was like, "Yeah, we're quite famous."
I mean, though, really, if you kind of step back on it, it is actually kind of goddamn awesome.
It's awesome. I love it. Absolutely love it. I was like, oh, I also got some fan art because, again, I'm kind of a big deal. We appreciate your work, Lucy.
We definitely do.
Absolutely do. No fan base in Sacramento though, just us haters. Exactly. Nothing but bullies coming out of is it NorCal?
NorCal.
Northern Cali? Yeah, just you, bro. Just
Everybody
you.
calls it that, Russ. Preempting his chat message that I knew was coming and showed up right as I said that.
For anyone that's yeah, exactly right. You know Cali, right, Smalley? You know Cali. For anyone that is based out of the Auckland Laser Force, especially, where's the red-headed redneck? You mean redneck tick? So yeah, you'll notice that we are a man down today.
Are we
though? Yeah, we are. We definitely are.
Yeah, we are. As much as I like giving DK abuse, no, we are definitely a man down. And
well, so he's the brains of our operation.
Correct.
Which is a really crucial part to lose.
Yes. Accurate.
Yeah. We have sweet and sour. That's what we have, but nothing to tie it all together. But as many of you know, DK is currently sunning himself in
glorious Syracuse, New York.
Western New York.
Yes.
Yeah, Western New York.
Upstate Western New York.
He's actually, he's gone to play some lasers, which is kind of awesome for him. It's really nice. I would do the same.
Good for him. Da, 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 da. Look at DK. Fucking New York to play some goddamn fake naps. What a fucking jerk.
I'm happy for him. I really am, because anytime somebody gets to play some lasers is a good time. Let's see if we can have a play with this. What does this do? Probably shouldn't actually do any of that whilst we're on stream.
What the fuck are you doing fucking with shit while we're actually broadcasting? You're supposed to fuck with that shit during our extensive pre-show for like 15 minutes before we log on.
That's right. Well, then people could be a part of the magic. You guys can be like, oh yeah, add a little more blue to it, mate. Add a little more blue. Sorry. Anyway, so he's currently on vacation, sort of playing some lasers, having a beverage or two. I'd imagine he's neck deep into a fireball at the moment, so we'll see.
Or fireballs neck deep into him.
See, Ivan, good to see you, bro. Thanks for stopping in. Hey, he was messaging earlier into our D&D chat group, because I'm still like lurking in there, and he said,
I say we take off and nuke the entire site from orbit.
That's not that one. That one there. Damn. He said that he wasn't hungover today, which is surprising. Because he was messaging yesterday, and those Nick Bear Deep. The messages we were getting from him were like slowly deteriorating. And it was awesome. You could see how Fireball was taken over. It was great.
Shocking.
But that leaves us to kind of to talk about the other stuff. Where's God Servant? What do you need God Servant for? What happened?
Yeah, that makes no sense.
Strange. Oh yeah, I see. For the invalid variable. Yeah, it's something I've been meaning to fix for a little while. Look, stream issues are what makes us quirky and edgy, man. That's why we're underground. There we go. Boom. Invalid variable. That one I leave in there just for you, Russ. So all this week, whilst you know, obviously that was going on, and we'll talk about the fake nets in a minute, but all this week as that was going on, I was getting pop-ups on Facebook that were coming through, basically saying, hey, remember 2 years ago when you were in Detroit? Remember how much fun that was? Not anymore for you. So it's always bittersweet this time of year, because all these Facebook memories come flooding in, like, hey, you know, 2 years ago you were in Detroit. Couple years ago, before that you were in Brisbane, you know, etc. etc.
There's like basically this like 3-week window, kind of depending upon where Nats has shifted around since, like, well, for me, since like 2011, really. And it's like, yep, there's the original Syracuse trip. Yep, there's the first Sacramento in 12. Oh, and there's that, and there's that, and yeah, there's Detroit in 13, which was super. That there was some really kind of depressing memories that popped up from that, because that was the last tournament that we had Flint at, and so that popped up with some stuff, and it was like, God damn it.
Yeah. Really quickly, Baden, thank you very much for your sub. 12 months. I have your credit card details, hence why you've been subscribed for that long. Yeah, bro. Nice. It's real bittersweet, right? Like, you want to remember these times, but at the same time, it's a reminder of, you know, you're not there this time around, and then the FOMO kicks in so bad.
Honestly, the FOMO didn't really kick in for me this year.
Really?
Yeah, no. I mean, so I was on vacation this week. I'd actually taken this week off. You know, kind of with at least giving myself the possibility of being able to go to fake Nats. I mean, timing wise, it worked out. You know, it was the week after week after my quarterly IT planning. Russ, that's classic.
These are the bad people on the internet you need to stay clear of, kid.
For sure. So I mean, timing wise, for me at least, you know, with relation to work, it's like, okay, yep, IT planning. What was the week before? So, you know, yeah, I'll take I was always taking the week after quarterly IT planning off anyway, because those are just always a cluster, and having a week to decompress after is great.
Bite size. Oh no, Bob the Builder has gifted a sub to 1 pint size. Thank you so much, dude. That's really awesome of you. Hey, Pint, how are you?
That's actually pretty cool. And
just it's actually me. I got his credit card details still.
Great. Now she has a credit card. Oh, this just can't end well. But you know, just with the timing of a couple things, with like, so moving into the new house, there was stuff that ended up being more expensive than I originally thought it was going to be, and just some other bits and pieces. Also, not knowing at all how the divorce is going to, you know, hit my tax status next year.
Wait, do they tax you more if you get divorced?
That's just it. I don't know how getting divorced mid-year is going to impact my taxes. I just don't.
That's the most terribly grown-up thing I think I've ever heard. That one sentence there. Yuck.
Well, and yeah, I mean, there are tax implications for things that, had to be done as part of the divorce. So yes, Steve-O, you can wake back up. I promise that's the last super adult. No, I will not promise that's the last super adult thing I'm going to say. So between that and just, it just was like, knowing how much I was gonna end up spending making the trip, and whatnot. I was just like, I just didn't feel comfortable spending the money at this point. Now, having said that, um, it, you know, we'll just segue. You have not done the segue yet, bro. Come on, where's the segue graphic?
Don't need it. Yep.
Nope.
Add it to the list.
Add it to the very long list, like fixing the lurk.
Yeah.
Yeah. The reality is, like, the last, like, 2 or 3 weeks have actually, like, it feels like there's been a really good, like, positive mental corner turned. Like, it was weird being in IT planning a couple weeks ago and actually feeling like clear-headed while I was doing it, as opposed to literally like the first 6 months of this year, and really the last couple months of last year too. So really the last 8 months I've been kind of existing in this fog while at work because of everything going on. And so kind of feeling that lifting, it's been a really kind of nice feeling to actually feel like, oh, right, I can actually do a thing and actually, you know, process through things and keep and work well on stuff. It was a little depressing actually doing like my sending off like first 6 months accomplishments to my manager for my mid-year PA and realizing like how much was just not on there,
Right.
because I was just skating through the first half of the year just trying to survive it. And so that didn't feel so good. But yeah, like last couple weeks it's like, oh, okay, it actually does feel like it's like there is a light at the end of the tunnel as far as that goes. It's
That's
not
what healing feels like, right? That's essentially what that is.
Yeah, it's not it's yeah, it's not perfect yet, but I'm definitely having a lot more clear days than foggy days where I'm just like I just can't.
It's good.
So yeah, no, that's been such a honestly, it's been such a weird feeling. Because I've been, so fogged out for so long, that actually like doing that stock take and going, no, actually, this isn't bad. Like there's progress. There's moving stuff towards. Peyton, my fog is just glaucoma. I just don't realize it yet. I mean, entirely possible.
That's so good.
That is entirely possible, bro. Appreciate that, asshole.
That's super positive though, man. Like, yeah, that it's freeing. It's definitely a freeing feeling. Stuff starts like you start being able to like concentrate on stuff more, and like you get more pleasure out of the stuff that you enjoy doing again. Have you been finding like recently the your streaming has kind of contributed to some of that as well, or
So the streaming, I think, has always contributed, has always contributed at least somewhat to the positive over the last like 5 months that I've been doing it. I think I actually started it in February-ish. But that's always kind of been kind of a happy place, except when I do really stupid shit and
like
my
alt tab
characters die, or my computer crashes and another character dies. Aside from those, those moments. Yeah. Overall, that's definitely been helpful. Ducky, say they're my reality check moo. I hate you all. But no, so that's definitely been a thing. Now, has there also definitely been um portions of that where I was 100% doing that just to completely escape reality? Fuck yes. Streaming to escape my problems. We don't know her. We totally know her. That is a thing. Two, did I know the bovine bardiche is a consumable? Really? Two, tell me more. So I feel like I'm gonna have to explain that now because they've put it in chat. No, there's people going, what the fuck?
You can keep that for you.
No. There's actually people like going, what the fuck? The short form, I will keep this short, I promise, is that I was incredibly indignant at Two and Owl for trying to tell me something that I should have known, but I didn't. And then when I realized just how fucking wrong I was, it was pretty goddamn hilarious.
Those are two people you should probably listen to, especially if it's Diablo related, right?
Yeah, no, and the highlight of all this was Al calling me a peanut in chat.
That's most definitely a Victorian insult.
Yeah, so I think it was something. I think it was specifically, Than, you fucking peanut or something, and that was the moment that I realized I had completely fucked up, and I had actually processed what the fuck they were telling me, and it was like, oh, and there's this immediate, I think there's a clip somewhere of it. There's this immediate facial realization of just how badly I have fucked this up.
So
and just how wrong I am in that moment. Yeah, it's pretty fucking good.
In case any of you haven't already followed my boy, head on over to that link there. Than streams almost exclusively Diablo 3 content, so if that's up your alley, give him a follow. You're streaming about as much as I am at the moment, right? Like 4 times a week, thereabouts.
Well, this week I was streaming a lot because I was on vacation.
Right, fair.
So I was streaming more than I normally would, but yeah, it's right now it's basically it's minimum 2 days a week, and then kind of depending upon how everything falls. Some days some weeks there's a third and fourth stream, just depending upon how I'm feeling. So yeah, it's generally somewhat amusing content-ish. Emphasis on the ish. And speaking of generally amusing content, so we're gonna have words about the show from last week. Now,
set the scene.
First off, we are definitely going to thank Stallion again for being our in case of in case of emergency break glass for content. Thank you, Stallion, for coming on last week when neither DK nor I were available. I was being a rock star. DK wasn't traveling.
Thank you, Stallion.
Yeah, so that was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And honestly, seeing the pictures that you'd taken over the years, like hadn't seen the light of day, and like those were all very, very cool. But you're both fucking disowned. Fuck both of you.
In case anyone missed it, Stallion brought up photos from
2004.
Yeah, so there's 2004 Nats in Sacramento.
Those are the only ones that I'm disowning you guys for.
There was also some cool photos in there from a road trip that Auckland and Wellington did. We met in Napier in the middle of our country, middle-ish. From that must have been 2004 as well, 2003. Stallion fourth unofficial member of the Resupply. Honestly, there's actually a bit of a team behind our little podcast, with people contributing content, tech support, advice, and guest appearances that are invaluable to the production of our high quality content. But yeah, so the you spy a cat tail in the background? Not in my house. Fuck, it better not be.
Yeah, no, that's my middle child is sitting on my work chair, and he's now just gotten off the work chair, so he was flicking his tail around.
With a fresh bunch of mushrooms, compliments of trip. Look, I can't confirm nor deny what substances were taken on that trip. I did allude to some substances being taken on that trip, but I cannot. I did. We may have been on something a little bit. Only a little bit though. Yeah. The base was moved upstairs photo made you laugh so much you actually fell off your chair. That's awesome. If you missed the show from last week, the VOD is still available for the next week on our Twitch channel. The photos are well worth having a look. Oh, also, check out the YouTube. Yeah. In fact, whilst I have you here, if you haven't already, can you guys give our YouTube a follow, please? We want to get to 100 followers so that we can get an actual decent URL. Because that mess of letters and characters
is garbage.
Fucking
bullshit is what it is.
We cannot confirm nor deny, but we may have. Why does that sound so familiar? It's a great fallback, my dude. But yeah, some of the photos that popped up, like there's a photo specifically of you with no shirt on. Ooh,
there's two of them of me with no shirt on.
A couple, but there's one in particular. You rocking that keyboard. You're a handsome young man, my friend. A handsome young man.
Yeah, so that picture would have been taken in my apartment. And
it's so hot in here. But I need to really type out this email.
Nah, so that particular apartment, it just never cooled down. It was a second floor apartment. There was like a single window AC unit, which I think was actually in the bedroom, not in the living room.
Yeah.
And so like that particular apartment was it was always like 80 plus during the summer.
So was your move like, oh, it's so hot in here, let me take off my shirt, and then you're like, actually, let's move to the bedroom where we can cool down. Smooth.
That picture, I'm pretty sure it was more like, fuck it, you're all in my house, I'm fucking hot, I'm gonna be comfortable, so fuck you. I think that was pretty much the the string that was happening there.
That's Than's go-to, Stallion. It's like a shotgun approach. He's got a room full of people. He's bound to get one of them.
That's unfortunately a completely false statement.
Pint, definitely white button mushrooms were consumed on the Napier trip. Yeah.
Molly ladies love the AC.
You want to hear it hum? It was pretty good. I thoroughly enjoyed those photos because, like you, and they were this got weird. Just roll with it, bro. Just roll with it. Close your eyes, lean back, and whatever happens, happens. So for me, it was a bit of a bit of a trip seeing those photos, because like obviously, like, you know, I wasn't at the 2004 tournament, but like just seeing how you guys were back then, and then also because we had Slam Man in chat and there were photos of him from back then, and like seeing his reaction in chat to those photos was very, very heartwarming for me. So
The other thing, so watching the VOD,
don't fall
it,
asleep, Smalley.
I was very glad that Slam Man was in chat to try to like throw names out.
Yeah.
But like watching, I mean, obviously, Steve-O, you've never met like three-quarters of people that were in those photos, and Stallion's trying to remember 17 years back for, you know, people that he associated with for like a week.
Yeah.
And so as I'm watching the VOD, and you guys are just struggling, and then Stalker Slam Man would like throw the name into chat, and of course like the pictures pop up, and I'm like, oh, that's this and this, and it was one of those, like, it's like, man, I actually wish. I mean, I don't really, because I got to be a rock star, and that was way more fun. But I it was like, man,
Poor Chad.
this would have been a good show for me to be on, to, you know, help keep these transitions a little smoother.
Meh.
Because it just, because in general, and I realize that, you know, we kind of play up the we're jerks and we're half-assing this 90% of the time. The reality is, like, we're actually pretty good at this now.
we do a bunch of work to try and make things good.
Yeah, we actually, in general, you know, we flow pretty decently. We're generally on top of the things that we're doing. So it just makes a show like last week, where, you know, both people that are on are clearly struggling for names, just because they don't know them.
So no fake up for
It just makes it that much more kind of painful to watch, because that's not the norm.
Yeah.
As far as that goes. And again, it's like, I mean, there was nothing for it. I mean, you guys just didn't know the people.
Yeah.
So
in my
defense,
of course,
there's going to be a bit of struggle.
In my defense, I felt like I did pretty good with the Napier photos. Baden, you might be able to help me out on those if you haven't already seen them. There's a couple of group shots, and I think I got the name of most of the Wellington guys right, but I'm sure that you'll be able to correct me on that.
Well, I'm specifically talking about the 2004 Sacramento pictures, like the ones that were more Kiwi based, and even the Australian based ones, like those were actually fine as far as the name picking.
Yeah.
It was so noticeable on the Sacramento pictures for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
It was never going to go super well. It was just like, oh, but, you know, it was still such a great trip down memory lane. And yeah, I mean, again, Stallion, like, thank you so very much for stepping in with the content and having those pictures to be able to share. Like,
bailing
that was super fucking cool. And actually, also with that, so Stallion actually told a story last week about his experience flying into San Francisco in 2004, and his phone not turning on to be able to tell me that he was getting, you know, he couldn't get my address, this, that, the other. I had actually forgotten that I was late picking him up. Like, that I had just, like, I had totally forgotten that was a thing.
Yeah.
That I had fucked up getting there, and the fixing it took me an hour.
It's funny because, so, like, we were dropping Virus off in 2000 and when we were in SAC 2017.
17.
and we took a wrong turn, and after we dropped them off, we were coming back to Sacramento from San Fran, and DK took a wrong turn, and we ended up circling back and going to Oakland. I was like,
oh no,
what the fuck, man?
No.
Yeah. So we ended up in Oakland a little bit.
Yeah, I don't, and at the like, I don't even remember what the wrong turn was. Like, I do not remember how I fucked up getting to SFO. But I mean, timing wise, it worked out. Of course, if Stallion had been deported, I would never have known.
Yeah.
I mean, which probably would have been a problem.
You got an angry, sternly worded email being like, bruh, motherfucker.
What the fuck?
Yeah. To answer your question from earlier, Baden, the photos aren't online anywhere, but if you want to check them out, again, check out the VOD from last week or the podcast up on YouTube. That's the best way to view them, most likely. Tucker DK is still fancy boying it up in New York. I've just opened up Beans' post. He said, "Better watch out, Jackfire DK on the loose."
Oh dear.
Please somebody get a camera out and start documenting what is happening. I would like to see. He's too busy getting hand up. Exactly right. Yeah, it was really cool. Really cool to Laserblast from the Plus. That's the one.
That's it.
Some really cool photos in there. At some point when we are struggling for something to talk about, we'll do another one. I've got a bunch of photos from Australasian nationals from the early 2000s. Early to mid 2000s that we can kind of go through if people want to do another trip down memory lane. I love that shit. It's so good.
People love trips down memory lane, and then and the other thing there is like for the newer the newer members of the community, being able to kind of see some of the origin stuff. I mean, it is kind of cool.
Real cool.
It's not the worst thing ever.
Yeah. But we'll save those for days that we are struggling for content and where, perhaps one or both of you are not available. That's maybe when we'll look to do those.
That's fair.
Yeah. Right. One other thing I wanted to quickly bring up is, if you didn't already know, we have been recording some more first person point of view camera games of Space Marines on our members nights. I've put a couple more up this week. In fact, I just put one up now, so after the podcast, feel free to go check that out. Our boy Know-It-All playing a commander game. There's some really interesting things that I've noticed that have been coming out of as a result of these videos being posted. One of which is one guy who's currently playing out of Auckland, who's quite a newer guy. His game immediately jumped since these videos have gone up. So we're using them as training tools, which has been really handy. If you have a GoPro and you have a regular members night, I highly recommend doing some first person video stuff. Turn the ISO on the camera way the fuck up, so it goes super grainy, but you can see shit. And start doing some point of view vids, because they become really good tools to training newer players at your scene. If they can get an idea of how you as a more experienced player moves through your arena, how you approach backtracks, how you approach other people setting tracks, all that stuff. Maybe a quick guard on actually attach and position camera on the suit. So that's the thing, doesn't actually go on the suit. I've got a head mount. You got a head mount one which we just use and have it aimed kind of sort of down towards the gun. Easy, real easy. Josiah and I found our old photos from the first season we ran and just sat reminiscing. Dude, that's awesome. Those photos become really valuable. Kia ora from Tahiti. What's going on? Why? Hey, do you live in Tahiti or are you from New Zealand? in Tahiti. That would be weird. Kia ora, welcome in. Sit down. We're talking about Laser Force. Enjoy. Yeah, so you found a GoPro when moving first-person cat cam might have to happen? That's amazing. You live in Tahiti. That's awesome. We do a weekly podcast about Laser Force, which is a type of laser tag, and also stuff that's kind of adjacent to that. When it's a slow news week.
A lot of stuff that's adjacent to
it. But yeah, so we if you get an opportunity to do that, I highly recommend it. Like get some point of view vids cranking, because yeah, they're great training tools for you new guys. Plus, it's really nice to have that, like, just as, you know, keepsakes, I suppose. Like, one thing I noticed from off the back of last week, I really wished that camera phones were a thing back in the early 2000s, because we would have so many more photos. You know, the amount of photos that existed from back then are very small, because you had to have a digital camera and somebody had to like go and get it and like, you know, start actually making an effort to take photos.
Or you had to have a film camera, and then you had to develop the pictures and you know, and then have a scanner to scan the pictures. And
yeah. That's a great point. I remember taking a disposable camera to my first Nats in Melbourne. I had a Kodak disposable camera in 2003, because you know, you kind of had to do that. I couldn't afford a digital camera back then. So I've got some photos, like some 6x9s. Exactly. Fucking look at the quality of this shit. High quality.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, go check out those videos. They're pretty fun. They've been fun to make. Really cool to watch. Really cool. Sad the pod isn't tomorrow, because obviously being inside the arena at the Blue Base in the jungle and be able to watch the pod there. But it's been a nice time with you guys. Go waking up in 4 hours and going to lasers all day. You're a machine, Lucy. Thank you so much for your support. Send us photos from the jungle. That'd be awesome.
Sure.
Yeah. Right. The other major thing that happened this week, there was a major sporting event on.
The Olympics, right?
Yep, definitely. More important actually than the Olympics was fake Nats. Fake Nats happened this week, and in case you were living under a rock, it was cool. Held out of Syracuse, New York. How many teams were there? 5 or 6? 16.
There were 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we'll be doing a more complete recap next week when DK is actually back, because you know it's a little better to do a more detailed breakdown with somebody who was actually there.
Yeah.
You know, just throwing that out there. But I mean, we're still gonna do some high level, you know, coverage of things, like, you know, it was you know, really cool again that, you know, obviously the games all got streamed, which we've been doing the streaming thing for so long now in various ways, shapes, and forms. Like I can't imagine not having the streaming now for a tournament. Like, I don't know how other systems like do it if they don't, you know, I mean, do other systems stream their games like that? I mean, if they do, cool. If they don't, I mean, why aren't they? I mean, it's such an amazing thing to be able to, you know, bring a community together and, you know, talk shit while the games are being played.
Yeah.
And then on top of you know, them streaming on Twitch, we also at various points this week, I mean, we had Nolan out of Chula Vista doing some broadcasting on his YouTube channel, doing some commentary stuff, which is pretty cool. Unfortunately, his computer decided to tell him to go fuck himself, so he didn't get to do as much as he wanted to. So that sucked. But the stuff that he did was pretty fucking good.
Yep.
And then across a couple of the different community discords, our Discord and Goldfish's Discord, we had like massive voice chats the first 3 days of Fake Nats, which was the part that actually counted. So we at one point in voice chats we realized it was like, oh, we've got like 7 time zones in here. Okay, that's cool. And just stuff like that where you've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 time zones worth of people all just all just compressed in, and all chatting about the games as we're watching them. It's just such a really cool feeling that this little community. I mean, it is little in the grand scheme,
For sure.
but we can we can all get together through the power of the internet and talk shit with perfect information while people are actually playing the games. We're telling them to nuke when they should obviously know they should fucking nuke. Details.
It's so just quickly, I think Wibble was the only one baiting that I didn't get. I think everyone else I think I got everyone else. I think, pretty sure
You did. You did.
Yeah. So voice chat in Discord during Nat streaming was so awesome. It was probably the best feeling I've had watching a streamed competition, outside of obviously getting to be there and play. Yeah. Do you remember the game based off Wellington's arena that Sacred was? Yeah, I do remember that. I think I downloaded his walkthrough somewhere. I think I've got a copy of that somewhere. Or no, it's on YouTube. It's somewhere on YouTube. You can go check it out. Yes, yeah, that's exactly right. That's right. It was featured on that pod. So yeah, being able to be in voice chat and just shoot the shit with other Laser Force, Space Marines enthusiasts from all over the world, and at its like detail level, basically just hang out with friends that we don't get to talk to over voice chat that often, which is weird because we could do it at any time, but having a reason to do it was real nice. Yeah, well,
with the disparate time zones that we have, trying to randomly schedule hey, let's all just get in here and chat becomes a little more challenging because there's there's work, people are sleeping depending upon the time you're doing it. But when there's something happening like a tournament, and there is that specific reason of everybody's already popping into Twitch to watch it.
Yeah.
That having the additional option of then being able to pop into a Discord voice chat and and have those conversations that you have when you're at tournaments.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's like sitting in a foyer, right? Like watching the game screen, and like you actually get to experience it as a group, which is really nice. It's one of the best things about Nats. But from a player perspective, the games, I didn't unfortunately get to watch a lot of games. I watched like most of the ends of day 1 and 3, I think. Missed all of day 2, but yeah, there would look to be some high quality games happening.
So I was able to watch about 2/3 of all the days. Shockingly, when I'm on vacation, I don't wake up until like noon.
Smart.
Funny that. So I generally miss the first part of the first part of the day.
Yeah.
But yeah, by and large, there were some quality games happening. There were some shit stomp games too, but that always happens as well.
Yeah.
But it was really not, I mean, you could definitely, like, as with every tournament, you could see the quality of the games improve as time went.
Yeah.
As as the visiting teams learned the maze a bit better, and figured out what their actual best lineups in the arena were. Oh, Smalley, we'll get there, I promise.
Well, we're getting there.
Yeah, we will get to that collision, I promise. But yeah, so it was just really cool to watch the progression. It was really cool to be able to hang out with a bunch of Laser's friends and talk about the games, even though we weren't there. So yeah, it was good. And I mean, as far as the results from the tournament, yeah, we'll quickly just cover the final standings. Like I said, next week will be the big detail recap once DK is back. But bottom of the table, Syracuse B. They tried real hard. They got a lot better as the week went. But there was really just a talent differential there that they couldn't overcome. I mean, that's really what it was. Fifth was Detroit. Again, I mean, Detroit was always going to have some challenges going in, because their team, while it was a team of decent players, they didn't have anybody on that team that I would consider to be like a game breaker.
Well, they're missing their like strike weapons, right?
Yeah, they didn't. Yeah, Scythe and Micro didn't make the trip, and and there's no argument that both of those players are full impact players that can make a difference themselves, and make a difference themselves consistently. And I think that's the key. While there's a couple of players on Detroit that definitely can turn games themselves, it's not a consistent thing. It's not something that you expect from those players. But for what the lineup was, and and gel time and everything, not bad. Fourth went to Loveland, which again, not a terrible result. Again, you're still kind of into some talent differential issues, but the encouraging thing with Loveland was that they had a couple of newer players that made the trip. A couple of people for whom it was their first tournament experience. So that's always a positive thing when you're bringing new people to a tournament.
Yeah.
Third ended up being St. George. Now, this tournament was a tournament of injuries,
which sucks,
and which does.
Yeah.
It really does. And kind of there were two really kind of critical injuries that occurred for St. George during finals, essentially. One was the aforementioned collision that Smalley mentioned in chat, where Evil from Syracuse and Thunder collided. And for those of you who don't know Evil and Thunder, Evil is big. He's a solid dude.
He's a big guy.
He is a big solid dude.
Yeah.
He's I mean, for those of you who have met Steve-O, he's bigger than Steve-O. Like that's just, and
he's got muscle mass too.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. He is a
sneak.
That's Spoonie versus Sneak. That's not a terrible. It's not quite that extreme, but
Also,
it's
because
close.
the thing is, like Thunder's not a small dude, like a short. He's a tall guy.
Yeah, he's taller than I am. He's like he's like 5'9", 5'10", but he's lean.
Yeah.
There's not like an ounce of fat on that kid. I say kid, and he's like in his early 30s.
Yeah.
Because all y'all are fucking kids, because you're all young compared to me, mostly assholes. And yeah, they were both moving at speed, and they came around a blind corner at each other basically, and we have it on it's on video. There was a collision, and Thunder went flying.
So have you ever? It looked like
it was not good.
It looked like a linebacker running a third string quarterback over. It was, and the thing is, and there's some contention around the hit from a particular player from the tag scene in general. You know, I from an outsider perspective, knowing Thunder and knowing Evo a little bit, I met the dude once, and you guys could probably add more than I can to this particular viewpoint, but he certainly didn't do it on purpose.
No, not at all.
It certainly wasn't being celebrated. People weren't like, "Oh damn, that get wrecked, son!" Like from a if there was malicious intent, Thunder would be dead, 100%. And we weren't like saying that, oh, this was an amazing hit, or like, get wrecked, sucker, or whatever. If you're gonna do a thing, and I say this from personal experience, if you're gonna do a thing that looks like it really fucking hurt, make sure you catch that shit on camera so you can show people for years to come. Because for those of you who haven't seen it, I fell off a treadmill at the gym like 7 years ago, and yeah, exactly right. And I got the footage on CCTV, and I treasure that shit. I will show anyone that wants to see, oh, hey, did I ever show you that time I fell off the treadmill? Bang! Immediately go to at parties.
It's pretty hilarious.
This, I think, is on par with that, because if you were just looking at it's a train wreck. It's a car accident, the kind that you can't like look away from. And more importantly, I think if Eves had been seriously injured, I don't know if the footage would have got put up. Hopefully they asked them before they put it up. I don't know if that was a thing that happened, but hopefully they did just check and be like, hey, do you mind if we check the footage up? But yeah, like there's no malice in it. Like after that, can we call Thunder a war anymore? I know I don't want to play against him as heavy.
So that happened in game 1 of
Troy.
kind of the play-in game that the St. George and Syracuse had to see who would just move straight to the final. And Thunder played game 2, but what basically was like, dude has a concussion, you need to not. And so the next match, when St. George was playing Cali, because everybody calls it that, Russ, he's no longer
he's
chat,
not
so
here. I doubt he's here.
But when he rewatches this, because he will get very angry that I said that, and that is the point.
Yeah.
So for St. George's match versus Cali, they had to take Lenny as a sub, he's a Syracuse player,
good player,
and he's a very good Syracuse player. Let's not denigrate Lenny's skill, but that's not your team member. That's somebody subbing in. And then on top of that, Snuffles, also from St. George, injured his ankle on finals day. So like they're playing through that their set against Cali with a sub and Snuffles with, I think it's a high ankle sprain or something. I mean, it's not
brutal.
not anything fun, obviously.
Mm.
And so with that, I'm not, Cali beat St. George to move into second,
which I'm very proud of.
Yes.
A win is a win, even if it has asterisks next to it.
that is entirely accurate.
Yeah.
And then and then first place, unsurprisingly, was Syracuse. I mean, I don't think nobody seriously was betting against Syracuse in their own maze. I mean, what was there a chance for both St. George and Cali to take out the win? Sure. There's things happen in a single elim final, which is essentially what this was. Oh, look, a tail. Oh, look, a cat. So yeah, but in the end, fake Nats champions, Syracuse, good for them. I mean, serious, and that's a genuine good for them. Like having this tournament be 6 teams and being run in a relatively low pressure manner, like deliberately being called fake Nats, so that it was like, okay, yeah, everybody's gonna go and do their thing, but at the same time, trying to ease us back in after a year and a bit of COVID and not doing anything. So
yeah, it's a nice excuse to gather when gatherings are frowned upon.
Correct.
Pint, I think I have seen photos from that. That's war stories. That sort of stuff is brutal. Yeah, well done, Q's. Well done. Happy for you guys. It's got to feel really nice. Hopefully we will see you guys down here next year. We'll see. I hope we see most of you down here next year.
I mean, that's all gonna, that's all gonna depend upon, your borders being open for starters. I mean, let's call that for what it is. If you guys borders aren't open again,
yeah, that answers that. Yeah, I'm hopeful.
We do?
I'm hopeful. It's
Fair.
not looking great, but I'm hopeful. One thing I didn't notice was the random draws section.
I mean, it happened.
Yeah, did they stream it? I don't recall seeing anything up.
I mean, I was in Austin yesterday and this morning, so if they did
stream both of the 2 days. Were they shorter or something? Because like every time I went to log in, they weren't playing. Maybe I wasn't granted it was like midday here, so maybe I missed it. Because I just assumed that they were like, oh, everyone pulled out, so they were like, fuck it, let's not do it. But then I saw DK with his first place trophy, which I wasn't sure what that was for. I assumed Laser Force, but yeah, they didn't run it. Oh right.
Yeah, and I have no idea about anything with the random draw because I wasn't here for it. So hopefully DK DK will be
lucid.
Will not have completely will be at least lucid, and have some memory of the tournament next week when he's in, and we can grill him a little more specifically on random draw.
Stacked. I'd like to see what happened in those particular instances. Cheers. Yeah, because it was weird. I was like, cool, I'm awake. Let's go. Let's watch some lasers. I've done my work for the morning. Turn on some lasers. Nothing. Fucking crickets.
No
mate.
lasers.
Crickets.
No, not cricket. Lasers.
So next week we'll do a deep dive. The week after that, I would like to reach out to a particular guest, which me and you'll talk about more after this, but we'll see.
I was about to say, you're gonna Pearl Harbor me with this on the live on show? Okay, cool.
Is that the
Appreciate
one
that
goes around here? No, that's a different thing.
That is 100% a different thing.
yeah, that'll hopefully be the week after, but we'll see. Cheers. Okay. Fuck, I love these lights. This camera just displays the lights so nice.
It is pretty nice.
It is very nice. I just gotta like fiddle with the color settings, I think.
Needs a little bit. Motherfucker.
Yes, it is Stallion. That is exactly who it is. Right. So, I'm not entirely sure what is going to be coming up from a competition standpoint. We're kind of at that post Nats section that you know. Goodness me, just. Dan has a flash of inspiration and knows GND's every thought about all guests he wants to invite. Isn't he annoying? Definitely. He's the worst. He's the worst, Pite. No, he's not the worst. Love you, bro. Love you.
He's talking about Baden, but you know.
Oh yeah, I know exactly what she's talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, but I love
Australian
you too.
Titles.
So
Australian Titles is the next thing, and that's and Smalley's mentioned that in chat.
So
I just don't remember what day it is.
Is that a thing that's actually still happening?
That is a really good question, given all the lockdowns in her state in Australia.
Like, I haven't heard anything about it. I don't know if anyone's got. Maybe we'll do some digging this week and reach out to Wombat and see if it's something they're still doing. I can't imagine they are. I mean, although most of their teams are based in WA, so maybe. Yeah. There's a lot kind of melting down at the moment, Smalley, in Australia. We had a Australia New Zealand travel bubble that I'm gonna put it out there. Australia ruined. They ruined it. That's why we can't have nice things. But there is talks of doing something in either later this year or Sydney ruined it. Fucking New South Wales scumbags.
Total scumbags.
So, yeah, we've been talking about doing a road trip for a little while. We found out this week or last week, I can't remember. It must have been last week when we were talking to Stallion. That New Zealand now has 7 laser force sites. All Victoria's rushing their keyboards.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
They're like, hey, not us, bro.
Funny.
Fucking baited. And the way that I envision it is that for us up in Auckland, we'll basically go travel from Auckland down to New Plymouth, play there, travel to Wellington, play there, travel to Napier, play there, and then travel to Tauranga, play there, and then back to Auckland. So we'll do, the way I envision it is we'll do this over maybe 5 days if people can get the time off and people want to travel. If we can get 10 at least to travel, then we'll do that. If we get more, perfect. It's not really worth doing if we get less. Don't ever call you a Victorian. Who called you a Victorian? Oh, Auntie too. Anyway, so yeah, if we can make that happen either later on this year or early next year, that'll be the next kind of thing for us. I would assume that somebody will get itchy feet and want to organize some sort of West Coast tournament in the States.
So there's been some things kind of starting to be mentioned about that. Maybe for like February, March in Loveland. There's been some very, very, very preliminary talks as far as that goes. But that's very, very much a more to come later, because it is very much in the infancy stage, and we don't know if it's going to get murdered in the cradle yet. So,
oh my god. Jeez. Yeah. So
went way darker than you were expecting, huh?
Way darker. I don't know if that one's gonna have its entire family murdered or not between now and then, so we'll see. Yeah, so we'll look at arranging something. I'm really keen to do that that road trip. There's also been talks from the boys up here of doing another triple threat tournament, so perhaps we'll look at doing that in October.
That'd be pretty cool.
It would be. That the last time we played that was awesome, and if honestly, I would highly recommend that either the Australians look at doing something similar, like if you guys just do something over there, if you have a bunch of sites that you can. I know there's like 2, possibly 3 sites within, reasonably close proximity to Brisbane. I think there's. Don't tell us what to do. I said recommend, mate. Recommend. Fucking hell. So, yeah, if there's a couple sites that you could play at, that's a really good way to kind of get a mini tournament cranking. Same thing in the States. Like, if you guys are itching to get something done, do something intercity. Like, if you have a couple of sites you can go to. Portland, you have, like, 3 laser forces. Maybe you guys should host something. Do something.
Probably not. Nothing but FECs up there, so that's a problem.
So many angry people today.
Doc in chat says, yes, so many angry people today. That's every day. Like that's every resupply.
Troy,
every
maybe
chat session.
You should talk to people about doing a triple threat at your guys' site. That'll be awesome. Tucky trying to get it confirmed. I mean, work your magic, bro. Work your magic. Was there anything else we want to talk about this week?
I think everything else is kind of pending DK actually being here so that we can see how much memory of this week he actually has after being Fireball DK.
It's so funny.
I think we're in a pretty good place right now. I think we're good.
In case you guys didn't know, like I said earlier, Than does a bunch of streaming on his channel. I also take over the channel for most of the week and do a bunch of streaming elsewhere. We have Laser Force live most Tuesday nights, New Zealand time. The last couple of weeks.
I say we take off and nuke the entire
site. Oh my god, it worked! Magic. I mean, of course it worked. It was tech support that set it off.
Of course.
Of course. Wednesdays we've been doing Lego builds, which have been really fun. Mr. Doom has been joining me on those, painting up a giant X-Wing that I found at the dump shop. But we are currently working on this thing behind me, the Guardians of the Galaxy Benatar spaceship.
Nice.
We've been doing a bit of VR streaming, even though we've had mad tech issues with that. But yeah, if you guys are
pretty hilarious,
if you guys are bored during the week, come hang out with us because it's fun. It's a bit of fun. Is there anything else you want to mention, my friend, before we call it a day?
Nah, I think we can safely let it lie here and wait for DK to be on next week to really kind of pick his brain for how much he actually remembers.
Did you say lie here? What is Black Mesa? I have to look at that after. I don't know what that is. God, if you can fix the lurk. That's a job for me, mate. I've got it on my list. I'll do that immediately after we finish here. You gotta go. You got a meeting. Enjoy your meeting, Smalley. We're also gonna. You're working on. Just need someone to call you back.
I think Smalley's meeting is with her bed so she can sleep. That's what that is.
Black Mesa's a Force engine reimagine of Half-Life, the computer games. I'll look into it after. Alright, well look, that's going to do us for this week. Thank you everyone for joining us. It's so nice to have everyone joining in on chat. It's been such an amazing addition over the last year to the podcast that I couldn't imagine doing it without you guys here to give us shit about the quality issues and whatever else you want to bully us about.
I mean, I could, but it wouldn't be anywhere near as much fun.
Yeah, so. I could deal with one person. All right, look, for this week, I've been Guy Next Door.
And I've been Than.
Always remember to backtrack, kids. We will see you next week. Ka kite.
Later.